And so I want to start with this little prayer for the ministry website. I found this, believe it or not, so I went online. I thought, I wonder if there are any Bible verses about websites. I mean, you can find everything on Google, so why not try? All I found basically were how it's a demon, how the internet is the devil, you know, how it's going to take you down to terror. But I did find this prayer. It says, "Dear Lord, bring visitors to this site and give them eyes to overlook an announcement for events that happened 4 years ago. We ask you to strengthen the beleaguered ministry, give them patience for outdated web pages and technical difficulties. Give them volunteers who do not waver and a budget that can afford WordPress.com. Bless all whose websites are closely linked with ours, and grant that we may load pages quickly and link one to another as we would have them link unto us. Bless our search engine optimization, that it may guide your lost sheep to welcoming mission websites across the chaos that is the World Wide Web. We commend to your mercy all 404 errors, that your will for them may be fulfilled. We seek forgiveness for enjoying the communication gaps of other missions a little too much, and for many times we used Comic Sans and thought it was hip and personable." So all of those things I just thought were so clever, because I think most of us are guilty of one or the other of them. So a lot of the people I talk to don't really understand the value of the website. They know they're supposed to have one. It clicks a box. They know it's a place for donors to make donations, but they don't really understand who their audience might be. And we'll see some examples of that in just a minute. But as we're thinking, and we've got some up here, but have you thought about who your website is for? Is it for your current donors? Yeah. Is it for prospects who may just be coming into town and are looking for a ministry that they want to support? Is it corporate sponsors, which are just so important, and what do they want to see? What do they see when they look at your website? What about private foundations? This is one I don't think people think about very much. I'm a grant writer too, so it's kind of top of mind for me. But if you are a grant, you're making faces.
I say get a card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we do that too. Be happy to help with that. Been doing that since I was 35, so a long, long time. But what do you think a foundation is going to do first when they are considering? They're going to receive like your letter of intent or whatever. And then the first thing they're going to do is they're going to kind of legitimize you and your credibility, like popping onto your website. So how is your website going to speak to people like private foundations? Real important. Churches, obviously, when they're looking for organizations to support, does it have their needs? One website that I've worked on has an entire page, and yours may too. I don't know, I didn't stalk you that badly. That really gives resources to churches so that they can go on the website and you actually can give them some training on how to handle homeless people and then offer to be a speaker in their church. But is your website speaking to churches and then civic groups? But it's really important that you're always thinking, okay, is this speaking to the people I needed to speak to? Okay, so here's an example. Look at this and tell me what this organization does. This is the home page. This is the home page. Now, if you look at this and you think about it, it is a rescue mission. And if you look, this is called, in old newspaper terms, The first section of your website that people see is called Above the Fold. Remember how they would try and place all the big news above the fold of the newspaper? Well, this is above the fold on the website. So thinking about, and one thing I want to say about this is you need to look at this with the audience eye. That's why we talked about the audience. Look at those specific audiences that you identify, not necessarily my list, but the ones that you want to be coming to your website. And when you look at your website, think, does this speak to new donors and prospects? Well, no, I'm looking for a mission to support in my area. I just got here, so I Google it, and sure enough, it pops up. But this is what I get. I'm going to move on. I'm just going to move on. And a lot of people are doing a real good job with this, but obviously this is a substantial rescue mission who just has not thought about what's my initial key message that I want to get across to my audience at the very beginning. This is one that does it really well. This is City Union Mission, who's part of the GRMF. Meets needs, lives transformed. I love the video behind it. Don't have to have it. The big deal is needs met, lives transformed, serving our city's hurting and homeless. Boom. I now know who they are, what they do, and I'm intrigued and I want to know more. So making sure that that homepage really is intriguing and has people wanting to know more is super, super important. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Some of these are really extreme examples, but they are real rescue missions who are doing wonderful work and yet don't understand the value of their website in terms of attracting donors, attracting support, and attracting prayer, all of those things. So this rescue mission, and I did obscure their name, yeah.
How does it come about? Did they just contract somebody that knew absolutely nothing and pay them to structure the website? Or did they go the affordable route and, couldn't really get the structure and the points across because of it? How did the mistakes occur?
Sure. Well, this one, I don't know how this happened, but I think this is a mission who knew they had to have a website years ago, put the website, had somebody, a volunteer, or maybe somebody who builds websites, I don't know, together. But one of the key things, even when you're working with a web builder, is they don't know rescue mission necessarily. They don't know all the elements that you need to have. They don't know, the critical pieces that, and we'll get to those, that you need to make sure are front of mind on your website. And so there's another one. I don't have it embedded in here. It is beautiful. When I first saw it, it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful website. It was built in 2012. And besides throwing pictures into their gallery of their golf tournament and their women's luncheon, they have not updated it or looked at it. And you know why? When I asked them, we don't know why it matters. Yeah. And so it was as simple as, and this is part of what I want to tell you, it is so simple to make those little changes that are those key changes that are going to make all the difference in your website. And that's why, two things. Number one, I encourage people to be intentional about your website, and I'll give you some reasons why. And number two, understand the value of your website. More and more, and we all know this, but when we're in the heat of the fires of rescue mission work or ministry, it really goes on the back burner a lot of times, And so, but yeah, I think, so, and if you'll look at this, I'm sorry.
That looks like it was done in 1985.
Doesn't it? And look, the verse, it's a great verse. Who we are, tiny. And it really is tiny when you look on it. Get involved. There's no No, and there's no donate button, which we'll get into, why that's so important. Yeah, it's just, it's an amazing thing. And we've tried to encourage them to let us help them with this. And it just keeps getting on the back burner because there are so many, and I get it, there are so many other things going on. But yeah, isn't that crazy?
Is it that, you know, old ways and old ideas are hard to change, right? Because, you know, I helped the Maui Rescue Mission with some other stuff. But as part of the homeless architect, you know, and we do some design work for rescue missions, they have a board that really hasn't been too keen to adopting different ways and new technologies, right? Could that be a part of what might be driving this?
We all know the answer to that.
Thank you.
So often the board, who are so well-intentioned and wonderful, don't always understand those things. And I just have to say, these are areas where the executive leadership should be taking the role. I mean, boards, I've worked with many boards in my time, and keeping those, this is completely off this seminar, but keeping boards, having the boards and the executive staff have clear delineation of roles is a really important part of rescue mission work, in my opinion. So, all right, I'm going to show you a good one, but while we're here, one of the things that I really want to encourage you about, as much as I don't like pop-ups, I'm just not a pop-up fan. Data shows that pop-ups work, but and so pop-ups ultimately are a good thing. However, and is this one going to let me take it down? Because this is one of the...
Good of a pop-up.
Huh?
Is that good of a pop-up?
Yes, that good of a pop-up. See if I can get it, because I want to show you this website, because it's really good. This is Market Street. Oh, that's disappointing. Let me see if I can get that to... It's not going away.
Maybe you have to hit the give button for it to go away.
Well, let's see, I'm going to try it.
That would be cool.
Yeah. No, I'm just frozen there. I'm going to see if I can back up, because I want you to see this website, if I possibly can. It is not going to go away for me. Maybe if I... It is a beautiful...
There's a red X, though. If you click on that red X.
Yeah, I've been doing that. It's just,
It didn't do
it's
anything?
not going. This is embedding websites into PowerPoint. I've not done before, but I got really excited about it, so I did it all over the place. So we'll see how that works. But this is Market Street Mission. You can look it up. It's really a nice, very nice website. And you immediately know who they are, what they do. It's appealing, it attracts your eye because there's someone you can tell is finding joy in new life, that kind of thing. What I wanted to say about this pop-up is one of the things that I believe, this is my opinion, that I think people do wrong with pop-ups, is if you are going into a website and you want to know what that organization is before you decide whether you want to give or not, make sure that whoever does those times those so there's a delay, like a 10-second delay. Because that way, they're going to see the pop-up, but before they see the pop-up, they're going to see who you are, what you do. There's going to be a reason why they might want to consider giving. If your pop-up pops up right away, it covers up everything, and your first impression is all they want is my money. Right? So be really careful about that, and if you use pop-ups regularly, just think about the timing on your pop-ups. That's kind of an important factor. All right. Is this going to cooperate with me? No. Here we go. So this is silly, but the message that I really want to get across is that all of these things don't have to happen at the same time. You fix one thing, you fixed one thing. So, you know, if you have, I don't know who does your websites or who keeps up with your websites, if you have somebody, how do you guys deal with them? You do it? Okay.
5Q is who like manages.
You have 5Q, yeah.
but
So
Doug Shaw does the majority of ours, but then we have an in-house person that changes.
that does the update, well, and that's who we're really kind of speaking to, because this is not web builder stuff.
Right.
This is stuff you do, you don't have to go back to your, and believe me, web builders, that just made me nervous because that's my sister, and what are you doing here?
She's spoken like a sister.
Chime in on your-
She wants to see
That's
her
great.
beautiful face.
I just don't want her to see me in action, that's all. Kidding.
She wants to see you actually work.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, the thing that is to me really important about this is to recognize, and boy, if you need a new website, don't do that yourself, you know. So I am not trying to say anything about not meeting your needs with a good web builder and making sure you're working with them. This is about, I have a website, I'm not ready to make a change, but tomorrow I'd like to see my website be better. So that's kind of what this is about. And so as I was thinking about it, and one of the problems is it just looks too big. I just don't even want to get into it. We've got this special event coming up. We're trying to build this program for the men and women on our program. I don't have time to think about this. Well, if you break it up, like eating an elephant, one thing at a time, you can accomplish these without spending a lot of time and really make a difference to your website. So I thought, okay, everybody uses the 10 things you can do to change your wada wada. I thought 10, man, that sounds like a lot. And I thought, well, 5 doesn't sound like enough. So I came up with 6 very elemental things that I think can make a difference in your website just by making sure, and some of you may have all of these. I did not, I think I only found, because I went through all 19 member websites. I only found one that had all of them. So, and if that's you, congratulations. So the 6 things are, and I'll send you this, if you want it, just reach out to me and I will send you this.
Presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got cards here, you can give me yours, however we want to do that. So the 6 simple bites I came up with, pictures speak louder than words, and we'll go through them one by one. No news is better than old news. We'll go through that one, that's a big bugaboo of mine. To blog or not to blog, that's a question. Don't make me get out my GPS, we'll talk about navigation. Financial transparency. 9 of the member organizations do not have clear and available financials or links to their financials on their websites in GRMF. That's a big no-no, and we'll talk about why. And then finally, I know you guys probably get this pounded in your head, but I'm going to pound it some more. I can't believe the websites that don't tell clear, very easily available stories, because stories are the key to engagement. They just are.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I mean, I post stories on Facebook. I mean, do you suggest that they get on the website also? Because I always feel like that's doubling up on maybe it's my same people, but maybe the same people aren't looking. Is that?
Yeah, and I was going to talk about that later, but we'll go ahead and talk about it now.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're not talking to the same audience, number one. But here's another thing. Here's what I have found, because I work with rescue missions in Myrtle Beach. I work with rescue missions in Iowa, in Tennessee, in Georgia. Remember that every region has a different personality. And so what works on your Facebook page doesn't work on another Facebook page. You really have to learn your audience to know how you're going to be effective on Facebook. But here's one thing that has worked on every single Facebook I work on with people. Because one of the things I do is I do some of this backdoor work on people's websites that don't have width. And then I also do social media posts for people that don't have time, and so I'll do that. Here's one of the most effective things I've ever done. You write that story, you get the picture, you put it on Facebook, you put half the story on Facebook. You say, would you like to know the inspiring end of this story? Go to, and you put the link to your story page on your website or on the Facebook. And that drives people to your website because they want to know, oh, this guy came in off the street and, you know, had all of these challenges, and then he came to Springfield Rescue Mission, and now I want to know what happened. Well, now you've got them on your website and engaging in a myriad of different ways, including, of course, your donate button. So, I mean, that's one of the ways, but I would always double up. In fact, I really think in terms of even your direct mail, if you're doing direct mail, all of those, use those assets. Use them across Instagram, use them across your website, because you're going to catch a different audience wherever you go. So this is another extreme example. I just finished working with this one, and this is a wonderful ministry up in Dalton, Georgia. And this was their website. And they didn't have and don't have the ability right now, or the time, or the inclination to build a new website, which would have been my instant recommendation for them, because you can see this is pretty antiquated, super, super word heavy. And so this is my pictures speak louder than words. So if you look at this, I don't know how to exactly, these are all links. The blue are all links to their different pages. But if you looked at this, it just overwhelms me.
I'm not gonna click the links.
No.
What is it, 3?
I'm not even going to read all this. It just, yeah. So they wanted me to just kind of make it. And so what I'm going to show you, it's not state of the art, it's not beautiful, but wait till you see, it's better. And what they needed was step one, to having something they actually felt good about sending their donors or their prospective donors to. And this is, and again, remember, I'm not a web builder. I'm